Hello, guys, and welcome to Odds World Cup Match Day 2. Let's analyze the games in Group E and F, the games that are going to take place on Sunday with Radek Vegas and Alvaro Romeo. Hello, guys.
Hello.
And we have, of course, Germany, Spain, but let's analyze before the other game that we have in this Group E, Japan, Costa Rica. Remember, guys, to leave your comments, press the like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us. So in this Group E, everything is changed because Japan surprised us with an amazing coming back against Germany. They were worse in the first half, but they knew how to change the formation. The manager changed and adjusted some things, and they shocked everyone. It's the first time Japan beat Germany. It's the first time Japan win a World Cup game coming back from behind. And the odds tell us, Alvaro, that they should beat Costa Rica because Costa Rica was awful, apart from Spain being great, but Costa Rica was really awful. Even the captain, 𝐜𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐵 Navas, he couldn't save a single ball. Yeah. Do you also see Japan this favorite, 1.85, or we shouldn't overrate Japan despite the victory against Germany?
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me the pleasure to start. I thought that you were going to give it to Radek after what happened between Japan and Germany. But later, yeah, the truth is that later he will talk about that. And I have to say that Costa Rica looked very bad. We'll talk about Spain later. But Costa Rica looked very bad against Spain. I mean, they didn't have a single shot. They couldn't press. They couldn't stay tight defensively. The goalkeeper, 𝐜𝐿𝐴𝐵 Navas, didn't save anything. And there were 4 Spanish players that touched the ball more times than the whole Costa Rica squad. So that tells you how far the domination of Spain went. And when it came to Japan, well, I did like them against Germany, but I think Germany deserved a bit more, maybe. But in the last 20 minutes, Japan sprinted and they scored 2 goals. Beautiful goals, by the way, especially the one from Asano. For me, is the goal of the World Cup. I don't know if you agree, guys, but you know, that ball control and then the way he scored against 𝐜𝐴𝐵, it was beautiful, Edu, Radek. Japan won with a 26% possession against the Germans. That means that they knew how to stay in the game when Germany was attacking, especially with Jamal Musiala making really clever runs in the box. And then when they had their chance, they capitalized. So, you know, I think that it was a very good display by Japan, considering beating Germany. And I think that this game, you know, could show Costa Rica going back to their basics, which is defending better than they did against Spain, of course, and staying very tight defensively. But when I say staying tight, I mean pressing. I mean being aggressive. I mean playing with some sharpness that they didn't show against Spain. I can expect Costa Rica not attacking, because if they attack, they are going to lose, but defending at least with aggressivity. I mean, this is the least I expect from Costa Rica. That's why for this game, I could go for the under 2.75 goals. I like this one because I think Japan doesn't score that many normally. So under 2.75 goals, I like it here. That pays 167. And if you're interested in some other markets that I don't particularly back, but I think that you should know, well, Costa Rica to score just 1 goal, that pays 173. It's not that bad because Japan's defense is not perfect either. But as I said, I'm happy to stay with under 2.75 goals here.
Radek, do you see Japan this favorite with odds 1.85 after seeing the display against Germany?
Yeah, you have to, because not only because Japan was very clever and able to beat Germany and to keep them away from their goal, and scoring twice against Germany with a few chances. If you watch the expected goal market, it should have been a 3-1 for Germany. And they had a lot more chances, but they didn't score. And this is a thing we have in a lot of games in this World Cup, that the team with a lot more goal shots is losing. And this is unusual. And on the other hand, Costa Rica didn't have any shot on the goal of Spain. No, zero.
Zero.
And that's why, there's no other reason to bet on something like maybe Costa Rica can strike back, because I think this was the shocking worst I've ever seen in stats, what Costa Rica did, and so you can't bet on them. On the other hand, the odds on Japan with 1.45 are really not good. If we had these odds before the World Cup, I would say no option. And I even won't bet on odds like this on really good teams, and that's why it's too dangerous. And what I have to bet against Alvaro, I'm sorry, because I think a team like Japan, who can score twice against Germany with a few shots on goal, is able to score at least twice against Costa Rica, who got 7 goals against Spain. That's why I would say there's a lot of value in betting on over 2.5 goals here, because the odds on over 2.5 are 2.0. And if you follow the goal market, the total goals, mostly you get odds of 1.5 or 1.6 around. Not in this World Cup, I know, because there have been a lot of 0-0s. But on a long way, you have always really low over 2.5 odds, because the people want to see goals. Most of the people bet on there will be goals, and that's why if there are really high odds on over 2.5 in a game where I think it's reasonable to bet on, because it's a 50-50 chance. I can understand the argumentation of Alvaro, because Japan is not best known for scoring goals and not best known for getting goals, and Costa Rica is not able to score. That's why in this point it makes sense to bet on under, but the odds on under are too bad in my eyes. That's why I prefer to bet on over, and at the end I can win. I can double my money if I win and lose 1 unit. And if Alvaro is right, he needs to win the bet completely, you need 4 goals, because you only win the half if there are 3 goals. Or no, sorry, you need, if there are 3 goals, you lose your half, and if there are 2 goals, you win for sure. But I think, yeah, there's not too much value in it, because you only win with 1.67. And so, yeah, it's very interesting. Both things can happen, and we've seen a lot of surprises in the World Cup, but yeah, I think it's okay for both sides.
Yeah, well, so the user can choose, of course. You have Alvaro's opinion and Radek's opinion in this matter. I mentioned before that the odds for Japan to win were 1.85. Actually, this is only one bookie. As Radek was saying correctly, the odds in most of the bookies for Japan to win is only 1.4, so it's not worthy. We still, I think Japan was a bit lucky, so let's move into the next game. Of course, this is a massive game, Spain and Germany, and it's Radek's turn, because Radek, Germany is in danger, of course, after that defeat. I think we cannot be that pessimistic for Germany. Of course, they are on the bridge to get out of the World Cup again in the group stages, but they played a very good first half. They deserve more. They could have scored the second one, perhaps. There were some problems in defense. Süle and Schlotterberg were a bit poor. But Germany, overall, they were good, in my opinion.
Yes, and that's what I said in the beginning, because in expected goals, they should have won the game 3-1. And now you can say that this is not, worth nothing. In one game, it's pure luck, and obviously you can see Japan is able to beat Germany. What I like and what I kind of predicted, because I told you in the last video that I'm very skeptical about Germany, and yeah. I can't find a good bet in this game. And at the end, I saved a lot of money not betting on Germany. And ironically, Germany broke Alvaro's ACCA with a lot of good bets.
They did. I remember that.
And this was the only wrong bet in your four game 𝐬𝐭𝐿, and it seemed to be a clear thing for Germany. But that's the problem with these low odds. You can't win a lot, and you lose a lot if it's wrong. That's why stay away from it. Now we have a complete different situation. Germany is the underdog against Spain. I think a role they like, because as you said, Eduardo, I also think the stats speak for themselves. Germany lost the game in goals, but in the long run, it pays off that you create chances and score or shoot on the goal. What Germany did a lot, and they have a good offense squad with Musiala and the other ones, and they will try harder against Spain, because I think it's harder to play against a team like Japan, where you are on a kind of a high horse and think, hey, it's easy going, we will win this game. They won't underrate Spain after they thrashed Costa Rica 7-0. So we have a complete different situation, and I think Germany won't lose this game, because Spain is not that great. They only did the best in the situation, and they still miss a really good striker, because Ferran Torres scored twice and Morata scored once, but they kind of have to replace each other, and I think it's not so clear in this game, and I'm very interested in your opinion, Alvaro, because I think it's a draw here, and that's why I would say Asian handicap plus 0.25 on Germany with odds of 1.83. That means if there's a draw, I win half of this odd. And if Germany wins, I win the complete odd. And if Spain wins, then I'm also happy, because I love Spain.
Well, Alvaro, Spain was impressive against Costa Rica, even without a number 9, as Radek was saying. And I don't know if we should be carried away with these low odds for Spain. Spain comes as favorites, or Spain have to stay on the earth and also respect a lot Germany, because as we were discussing, Germany was also good, especially in the first half.
They were good in the first half. I think that they deserve better against Japan, but they had some catastrophic 20 minutes at the end of the game, and then Japan came back. And I think that this game presents a difficult one to bet, really. I really think so. I believe that this is the game of the tournament so far, because the pressure is immense on Germany. If they lose, I think that they are most likely out of the World Cup, and that will be catastrophic for Germany, considering that happened to them in World Cup 2018. The truth is that if you see the succession of results of Germany in the last World Cups, you will see that the last time they won, or they were winning a game by the 90th minute, it was against Brazil in 2014, because they won the World Cup final in 2014 in the extra time. And then in the previous World Cup, they lost to Mexico, South Korea. And in the 90th minute against Sweden, they weren't winning yet. Then Toni Kroos scored that beautiful free kick, and Germany won their only game in the World Cup, which means that this is a side that for a while now are struggling to compete in the biggest platform, in the biggest stage. I still think that Germany is very good. I think that against Japan they did a good display, but Spain, well, let me talk about them as well. They were impressive. What they did against Costa Rica was their best ever win in a World Cup. The previous one had been a 6-1 against Bulgaria in World Cup 98, a victory that meant nothing because Spain was already out of that World Cup. But I think that Spain got or did a massive step forward, because in case of a level on points what counts, what breaks the tie, is the goal difference, not the head-to-head. So Spain getting for themselves 7 goals was very important. And the biggest news about Spain this time was their impressive conversion ratio. They were really prolific. They scored 7 goals from 8 shots on target. Of course, a little bit of shame on Costa Rica and Keylor Navas, but also Spain was very good when it came to taking the shots, which is something very new, because in the previous show I said that Spain normally dominates, but sometimes they don't score goals, and against good defenses or against tight opposition, they tend to flop. But, I think that Spain was very good. The best player was Pedri in the first half, and in the second half it was Gavi. Gavi, by the way, became the 3rd youngest ever scoring in a World Cup after Pelé and a Mexican player called Manuel Rosas. So Gavi, at the age of 18, he scored a lovely goal in the second half for Spain. I think that Pedri and Busquets, they are going to play for sure. That's why they were replaced in the second half when Spain was already winning comfortably. The questions for me is if Luis Enrique will play with Morata, a referential number 9. If Rodri will play as a centre back, I hope so, but maybe not. And 𝐿𝐭𝐽 instead of one of the midfielders, I really hope not. I really hope that 𝐿𝐭𝐽 doesn't play, but you never know. Maybe Luis Enrique considers 𝐿𝐭𝐽 a more positional player, and then he plays against Germany, not having deserved it because his season at Atletico de Madrid has been crappy so far. Anyway, for this game, I think it's very difficult to call this one, but maybe you have to go to the Asian Handicap 0 or the Asian Handicap market, sorry, and go for the tight margins. Asian Handicap 0 for Spain, 179. Basically, if they win, you win. If they draw, you get a stake refund. And maybe this is as far as I can go here. It's a very tough one to call because this game is crucial for Germany. It's very crucial for Germany. And, them being out of the World Cup for 2 World Cups in a row, I think it's pretty unlikely. I think that Germany could get something here, but as I said, tight margins, Asian Handicap 0 for Spain. I stay there.
And the draw is beneficial for Spain, cannot be enough actually for Germany. So Germany have really to push for the victory. I was checking the head-to-head stats and Radek, we always fear Germany, when it comes to football. We were taught, that football is a sport playing 11 against 11 and Germany won, but checking the head-to-head between these two teams, the last time they played was that 6-0 in the Nations League. But also in official games, we have to go to the Euros 1988 to see Germany winning. And it was Rudi Völler, the one who scored a brace to beat Spain, because they met in the semifinals in South Africa, in the final of the Euros. I remember also in the group stages in the USA World Cup, and Germany never won. So,
and I have a question for Radek. What do people in Germany say? Because in the 90s, you remember probably in the 80s, we all thought that Germany weren't playing that well, but they were so
competitive.
So clever, competitive. It was so tough to beat them, so difficult. Mario Basler, Lothar Matthaus, all these players, they knew their stuff, and if you wanted to beat them, you had to bleed. Now Germany is different. Now Germany is more like positive football, but sometimes they are a little bit naive. What is the narrative there in Germany?
I think Pep Guardiola changed everything when he arrived at Bayern Munich, and before Louis van Gaal, when he was coach of Bayern Munich, because, as you said, the German football was known for tactical and strength and power, and not for beauty and result football like the Italians in the 80s with the Catenaccio or even before. But they had some horrible years after finishing at the Euro 2000 only in the group stage, and then they had to change a lot. And then we had the World Cup 2006 when Germany got better as with a lot of young talents. They improved the youth culture with Bastian Schweinsteiger, Philipp Lahm, and Manuel Neuer came to the squad in 2009, and the key was just developing better youth players, and this paid off with the World Cup title in 2014. And also Yeah, because of the clubs were getting better internationally, like Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund were in the Champions League final in 2013, and a lot of German players out of this squads were in the World Cup team 2014. And the role model always have been other countries, like the Dutch style of playing, the Netherlands, and Pep Guardiola style when he was at Bayern Munich. And I read an article about 𝐜𝐭𝐴𝐻𝐸, who was a coach before Hansi Flick, and he was also the ball possession style of play and the pressing style of Pep Guardiola. He wanted to put this in the national team, and the problem with it, now we have a lot of highly skilled players, but we really don't have real leaders. We have 𝐜𝐭𝐿𝐵 and 𝐜𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐬𝐿, who are great players and are leaders some kind of in some games, but they're not the kind of world class players like we had with Lothar Matthäus or Stefan Effenberg in the 90s. So what I think they are missing a bit of team spirit and a little bit of discipline and and a really good striker, which they had with Miro Klose or even Lukas
Klinsmann.
Yeah, a long time ago. But now we have a lot of players who can score. Same with Spain, 7 or 6 different scorers at the Spain win. But in a good team, I think you have to have a Robert Lewandowski who scores 3 goals or something like that, or the important goals when there's no way through the defense. So long story short, Germany learned a lot from other countries, but forgot about their key values a bit, and that's why they tried to copy Spain. Now they have to beat Spain, kind of. But Spain, I think, has their own problems, and so it's interesting. We know more after the game.
Very interesting. Germany used to be very pragmatic, I think is a good word to use. I remember the World Cup in 2002 with Klose, and at that time Germany didn't have a great team with Rudi Völler on the bench, but they get into the final because of this.
Michael Ballack. We had Michael Ballack, who was one of the best players ever, but he never won a title because he always finished second, and he's a tragic figure in the German soccer history. But he was, without him, Germany wouldn't have been that good in the World Cups 2002 and 6, and a lot of thanks to Michael Ballack, who was awesome.
And a leader as Oliver Kahn, by the way, also great save by Manuel Neuer, one of the saves of the tournament against Japan before conceding 2. This is the most interesting game so far, I think, in the group stages, together with the Argentina-Mexico, so far in the second match day. But let's move into the group F, because this one is also interesting. I think the European sides are not showing a great level in this World Cup, or the middle high part of the European pedigree. And for instance, I'm talking about Belgium or Croatia, and both are in group F. Let's focus on Belgium, Morocco. Alvaro, this game is going to be followed a lot in Belgium because there are a lot of Moroccan actually citizens living in Belgium. So it's a special game. Belgium, we said it in the previous video that we are not amazed by the way they are playing, and they suffered a lot against Canada. Courtois showed why he's the best goalkeeper in the world, and I cannot understand why Hazard is still playing instead of Trossard in this game, in this team.
Yeah, well, Leandro Trossard is having a great season, and Eden Hazard is not. To the point that, against Canada, Eden Hazard played 62 minutes. Well, this season he has never played so much, because his record so far had been 60 minutes against Celtic Glasgow with Real Madrid. So against Canada, he played his longest game of the season in mid-November. Belgium are top in their group. They won 1-0. They beat Canada with a goal from Batshuayi. A beautiful assist by Toby Alderweireld. He's old, but he's still capable of sending the ball forward with a lot of precision, accuracy. Toby Alderweireld has always been very good at that. And then Thibaut Courtois saved the penalty to Alphonso Davies. So, Courtois was doing the job in the boxes, scoring, and then Thibaut Courtois, who is, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper you can find, just saving a penalty and denying the Canadians, who had a very good game, I would say. But, I think that Belgium was very bad. Probably from all the good sides of Europe, Belgium has been the most disappointing, even though they beat Canada. Believe me, Germany was way better against Japan than Belgium against Canada. Belgium was dominated, and I think that nothing encapsulates this more than Kevin De Bruyne getting the MVP award for the best player of the game and saying that he doesn't know why he got it. Kevin De Bruyne is very self-critical. He's been always like this with himself. Basically, his stats are as follows. 33 passes, which is very strange, unusual. He touched the ball only 33 times, and only 23 of them were good passes. So the conversion or the accuracy of his passing was shit. I'm sorry to say, was very bad. And yet he still got the MVP of the game. So, I think that Belgium was not good at all. And sometimes the result clouds our judgment a little bit. We think, they won, therefore they have been good. No, not at all. And when it comes to Morocco, well, I think that their biggest success so far has been staying competitive against a side like Croatia, because I think that they had their chances. They saw a lot of physicality against Croatia. Bono in the first half, the Moroccan goalkeeper, was excellent, especially denying Vlasic in one of the best chances of the game for Croatia. And Morocco, they are a tough side to beat, I would say. They were strong. They are robust physically. They stay tight. Then when they go up front, they got the talent of 𝐜𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐿 and Nesiri as well. But maybe this is not enough to beat a side like Belgium. Maybe this is not enough. Anyway, this is another game that I think that is going to be decided in tight margins, because I think that Belgium has been very poor in the World Cup, and Morocco is missing some talent in some key areas, especially midfield maybe. So what about a positive Asian handicap for Morocco or a negative Asian handicap for Belgium, but a very mild one? Like, for example, Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Belgium, which I'm going to keep for the ACCA, could be one of them. But I'm going to go for an Asian handicap plus 0.75 for Morocco. That pays 165. I'm going to stay there.
Radek, if someone is looking for a surprise in this day, I think it could be this one. I really liked Morocco. Not offensively, I have to say, even 𝐬𝐭𝐿, I think he was super. But as Tunisia was showing as well, Morocco was very organized. Good team.
Yes, and I didn't expect this group to be that narrow and close together, as we've seen a really impressive Canadian side, and also Morocco could have won the game against Croatia as well. And at the end, as Alvaro said, Belgium was really disappointing, and Croatia also was not impressive. And so, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a draw again. And I even would say that Belgium is not that good as they've been several years before. They missed a lot of quality. They miss Lukaku a lot. And as you both said, that 𝐜𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐶𝐜 is not performing for years. He signed a good contract for millions at Real Madrid, and he didn't deliver anything for them. And the other side is that he's still a highly talented player, and I think he's more motivated playing for his country than for his for Real Madrid maybe. And he can make a difference for sure. That's why his coach Martinez hopes that he will show it some time. And still Belgium, after this game against Canada, we can't trust them, and it's too dangerous to bet on them. But on the other hand, I'm not too fearful of Morocco. I apologize for everybody who was insulted by me calling them desert, as only 18% of the country are covered with desert. I didn't know that. I thought it should have been more, but anyway, great team, great players, and they are not worse than Belgium. And I would love to bet on a lot of yellow cards here, as I think, yeah, the decisive thing could be a penalty here. A low-scoring game with De Bruyne scoring a 1-0 penalty in the 90 plus 5 minutes after 𝐜𝐴DEN was stroked down, maybe. But I don't think he will play it until the 90th minutes. But anyway, I think yeah, both teams to score no is a good bet here. We have odds of 1.95, and yeah, that's what I like.
Okay, very competitive. Morocco, this group, Belgium and Croatia are favorites, but be careful because the other game, Radek, that we have to analyze is Croatia. Canada, as you mentioned, Canada was good against Belgium. And talking about Croatia, if you were saying that you missed Lukaku for Belgium, I miss Mandzukic for Croatia. He left the national team long time ago, but Kramaric is not the same as a number 9. Croatia was controlling the game, but they lacked a number 9. They were not dangerous against Morocco. As Alvaro was saying, also only Vlasic had a chance against Bono. Despite controlling the game, I liked Croatia more than Denmark, for instance, or than other national teams, but they lacked this number 9 to execute and to create problems to the other team.
Sure. And I'm also a bit disappointed of Croatia, but if you've watched a lot of Croatia games recently and in the last years, they kind of always play the same. They're very physical. They have one of the best midfields on earth with Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic, all great players, and they also have Perisic and Kramaric. And Kramaric depends on really on what foot he steps up on the field, maybe, or out of bed, because in a good form or good shape or on a good day, Kramaric can score against any team in the world really great goals. But he's not the Kramaric we've seen about 2 years ago in the Bundesliga, and so. Yeah, that is, in my eyes, the biggest problem for Croatia, that they miss a kind of Mandzukic guy who scored in the World Cup final 2018. And because of his ability to score with every part of his body. And on the other hand, Croatia is still really impressive, a really great team. And I'm really not a guy who's afraid of smaller teams playing a great game, and to think now we expect only surprisings, because betting on surprisings makes you not rich, and the opposite. And I would expect Croatia is the better team, the way better players, and they should win this game in more than 50% of the situations. And we get odds of 2.15 for Croatia. After before the World Cup, I would say this is ridiculous high, as we've seen a team like Canada playing their first World Cup game. They did a great job for sure, and they have some really highly talented players. But you also have to mention that their best player is the second oldest player ever played in World Cup with Hutchinson. He's almost 40 years old. I think he's older than me. And, but
because we are young. We are very young, Radek.
Yeah. So at the end, I love the odds of Croatia, because I think, the quality of Croatia is undeniable, and they just have to find the way to the net more often. And you can't bet against Modric.
Okay, Croatia to win it is. Alvaro, do you agree with Radek? Croatia to win?
Yeah, very quickly. Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Croatia, 188. This is a game of Canada, rhythm, Croatia, know-how, and Croatia tends to have tight margins in their games. So I'm going to go for that one, not forgetting that Canada had 22 shots against Belgium. So that was very promising as well. But I think the Croatian know-how is going to impose itself here. Asian handicap minus 0.25 for the Croats.
Okay, Croatia to win. Let's finish the game with the video with your safe bets. Alvaro, yours?
Yeah, very quickly. Asian handicap 0 for Croatia, 155.
Radek?
Same.
Okay, and Radek, your ACCA, very quickly.
Combining Croatia handicap to Asian handicap 0 with 1.5 with Germany double chance against Spain. Because I think this is even a better bet than betting on double chance Belgium or even win of Japan. So Germany has to show another face in this game, and yeah, I hope that they win, and I'm about 80% confident that they will. The odds of a double chance Germany are 1.6, so you get completely odds for this double bet of 2.2 around.
Okay, and Alvaro, yours?
Yeah, I will go for Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Croatia, altogether with Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Belgium, 3.25. And very quickly, a draw with Spain and Germany, and a draw with Morocco and Belgium, that is a little treasure. It pays 13.16. Not for me, but Radek says that it's possible that we have draws there.
I'm sure Radek likes the doubles and the draws, so another option for you. Guys, thank you. Remember to leave your comments. As always, press the like and subscribe. Good luck. Enjoy the games. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.